Kia ora e hoa and welcome to Studio One Vintage Guitars. My name is Ed Costello and today we are pleased to bring you a new guitar-focused segment. It's called Studio One Sit Downs. And herein we will sit in our comfy chairs and talk guitar stuff and nonsense with a special guest. A simple, tried and true concept. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We are just talking to good people about the good oil and how they like to spread it. So, for our maiden voyage, we are talking to Auckland-based songwriter Shannon Fowler, aka Tom Lark, who is currently surfing the promotional wave in the lead up to his second album in as many years. The album, coming out on April 4th, is called Moonlight Hotel, and the current single doing the rounds is called Rock and Roll Baby, a laid-back cruiser of a song that features some tasty, burnt-out guitar noodlings. So let's sit down and talk guitar. Mr. Shannon Fowler, how the hell are you, my friend?
I'm good,
thanks for coming by, dude. Now, we met in the mists of mid-2000s, 2010-9, around there. Mm-hmm. You were a wide-eyed media student, maybe, in Christchurch. Mm-hmm. Does that sound about right?
That sounds right, yeah.
Were you playing music back then, bro? Were you playing guitar? When did the guitar bug catch you? Did you see somebody with a guitar on TV? You know, like often people say, guitarists say, oh man, I saw, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan on the TV and I knew that was it, or some kid was carrying a guitar at school. Yeah. How did you catch the bug, man?
Well, I remember watching Back to the Future very early on in my life.
Michael J.
Fox, it was like,
wielding a 335.
That
sliding
was like very
on his
impressionable.
Knees. Yeah.
And then slightly after that, many years after that, I started learning guitar and things like that, but maybe my friend lent me a Jimi Hendrix DVD, which was I was like, oh, wow. This guy
can play.
This guy gets it. Yeah.
And so you took lessons. Did you have like an early influence, or did you? I mean, this would have been like before online lessons. You know, did you sit down with somebody, or did you get a Jimi Hendrix book? Or I remember having like a Crowded House tab book that I sort of like poured over. You know, and tried to learn all of those songs. How did you learn?
I joined the guitar group at school.
Oh yeah, that'll like do it, eh?
Lunchtime thing. I did that, and then I sort of got more into bass because I thought that bass was an electric guitar. So I always had this like, oh, I'm gonna play bass, whatever. But then I started to. I think the natural progression is maybe you start learning bass and you're like, man, what are some of those other strings are about?
The higher ones.
Yeah, the higher ones, and maybe that's kind of where I started to get more into guitar. I think. Yeah.
So you never had a teacher or anything like that? You never?
Yeah, I did at various points. Like I had, there was like a group after school. There was a really nice guy called Clary Light who was quite an old guy, but he'd run this group where like someone would be learning drums and guitar and bass at the same time, and you'd kind of jam together.
Sweet.
And
like a rock school.
Like a rock school thing. So it was way more fun, I think, than just kind of...
Yeah. I think that's the key, like showing kids that it can be fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember going to piano lessons and, you know, like it was just so musty, you know what I mean? Like it was just so boring, but as soon as somebody can sort of shine the fun spotlight on something, kids want to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, at first it sounds like, you know, spinning 3 plates, like everyone's like, go! And, you know, like no one's really playing together, but then you start to learn, I think, to play together, and I think that's kind of, a super valuable thing that you can learn. Yeah.
What was your earliest sort of band? Were you in school bands? Did you do the Rock West?
I never did Rock West. I think I would have loved to have done Rock Quest. That's maybe one of my musical regrets, that I never
Right.
did Rock Quest.
You could do like a Drew Barrymore thing where you kind of like go back to school and go into the rock band. And
Yeah.
I can't remember what you know that movie I'm talking about, right? Where she goes back as a student and then she falls in love with the teacher. There's heaps of memes. There's heaps of like on at the moment about like. How inappropriate is Love Actually? Have you seen these popping up? You know, like, I reckon there's one for that Drew Barrymore film.
It sounds like it.
I digress pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
Look, listening to your guitar styling, let's talk about like, you probably, if I know anything about you, you'd probably go, oh, no, I'm no guitarist, like, but you're a real melodic guitar player, like you. If you take a solo on one of your songs, it's almost like it's like another vocal line that kind of for the section, rather than like a collection of licks like bang together, to show your prowess. Like, are there some players that you really like? Have you listened to that you like and you go, oh, I kind of like what they're doing?
I think, a good guitar solo should be quite melodic. Or you should be able to hum it, maybe. Like, I think that's the point of, well, not necessarily the point, but it's really good when you can hum a solo, or sing along to it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important. But I think Nels Cline is like,
oh shit, yeah,
like really. It's like the solo or something will start off kind of like casual, and then by the end of it, it's really silly sounding, or like really like, look, watch out, everybody! It's like really silly sounding. So, I think he's really good at masterfully making solo craft.
Yeah, he's a great addition to. Like Wilco, I saw a Jeff Tweedy thing recently where he was talking about how he never thought he was a very good, guitar player, and when their first guitar player left the group, he was like, oh, well, who am I going to get? I'm going to ask Nels, like he's the best guitar player. He's probably going to say no, and and then he like ended up, saying yes. He's such a spooky guitar player and like a master of effects.
Yeah.
Do you use? I mean, I know you're a bit of a studio boffin. Do you go to town like with effects and stuff like that when you're recording?
I do. I do have a lot of pedals. I go through phases of being, like.
I've got a phaser. Yeah.
I get a whole lot of pedals or something, and then I go, gotta get back to basics. Just a reverb pedal or something. Yeah. But then I start adding things to it again or something.
And it becomes more fun.
I think that, sometimes it can get in the way of just making a nice melody, but other times it's like super good when you find the right flavour or something.
Yeah. First it giveth, then it taketh away, as old Josh Homme used to sing, or probably sings every single night when they're out on tour. So Tom Lark, Tom Lark as a vehicle, it goes back to like what, 2011? Was that like?
Yeah.
I think that might have been like the Up All Night. Is that what that EP's called?
All Night Long.
All Night Long.
Yeah. 2010.
Well, you've got to be up all night to be all night long.
That's the one. Yeah.
So that was sort of a long time ago, and you released that, and then maybe another record. And then
no. I made an album.
Yeah.
And then I mixed it overseas, and then it never in Germany, and then it just never ended up coming out as an album. There's like a couple singles from it or whatever so we kind of played a lot, like promoting this album.
Was that like Go Get a Job and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, like that era of stuff.
Who was it that you worked with in Germany?
It was the producer Simon Birkfinger. He he was like an Australian guy who worked with a lot of like bands there that were like doing great, like Triple J on the Australian radio and stuff like that. And so yeah, we just stayed in the studio and he had all this gear and cool stuff. So we just kind of finished it there and put it together. Yeah. Maybe one day it will come out.
So that hasn't that stuff, because I'm familiar with that stuff. I remember I'm like familiar with you playing around that time. So, but that stuff hasn't come out.
No,
you took a big hiatus. Like what?
Yeah.
What was it? How come you like put the Tom Lark thing in the freezer, and what made you thaw it out? You came out with Brave Star 2004, 24 or 2023.
I think so. Yeah, 23.
And that was kind of like, your fan base were like, oh, this is great. He's he's back.
Hi. Yeah. I got sick of I made another album as well. There were like a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 albums that no one, for whatever reason, no one was very excited about putting out. But I really liked them. And then I just...
You mean like, when you say people weren't, you mean like label people that you were entertaining or something, or the band, or...
Yeah, no, the band liked it. It was just kind of like, I think the thing is, I've always been like a DIY guy or something, and so I just like doing my thing. And then somehow, I think when you're a young artist, you have a perspective of like, oh, hand this over to someone who knows more than me. I don't know. It gets passed on, and then slowly it starts to get more and more pigeonholed or something, but the more voices I think has to get involved or say, oh, this can happen or this can't happen or whatever. So I just got sick of it and like kind of quit doing that because I was like, I don't know, I'll just get into production. So making music for other people was kind of like,
You're doing the co-write thing, right? Like you're getting busy doing that, and you're in fuzzy robes, eh?
Yeah.
So that's sort of like a religiously tinged stoner rock band, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which like as kind of an interesting amalgamation.
Trippy Anglican music. That sort of came to the later period of that, I suppose. I did a whole lot of pop production and writing and stuff, and then did that project with a bunch of friends. And
so that's more of a band focus thing, or is that more just you and is it Guy?
Yeah.
What's Guy's last name?
Guy Cowan.
Cowan.
Yeah. And Paul Heglin and Lucas, and there's a bunch of other musicians that we brought on as well.
And that was recorded live, right? Or you did some sessions, at least where there was a band happening.
Yeah.
Whereas your Tom Lark stuff is just you, and you'll build it up.
Just me and this Jew multi-tracking. Yeah.
Sick. And the Shannon Matthew Vanya, that was like your pop.
Yeah, pop alias.
Yeah.
But, that's also just me in the studio. Doing.
Yeah. Oh, it's been really fun to see you roll out the Tom Lark moniker again. I mean, like these last 2 albums have had more of a, they've been more of an acoustic sort of basis, more so than the original Tom Lark recordings. And they're just more of a chilled out sort of vibe.
Yeah.
How were you ordinarily like writing a song? Will you just write something at home and then, will it start on guitar? Will you just come up with some chords on the guitar and then?
Yeah. With I think it sort of happened in reaction to making pop music stuff.
Right.
Oh, like pop melody and like.
Here's your top music. Line and blah, blah, blah.
That's cool, but I wanted to, I think, just dig a bit deeper, or like no one really wants to hear some lyrics you can write for like indie pop or something maybe that you can't really just do with like a pure pop song. No one wants to like club dance to some sort of sad ballad or something. It's not really like the way it works. So, but I wanted to just write. I think explore lyric writing more and stuff like that. And so I think that made me kind of go like, I've got to stop. I've got to make some other music that's not just like little like slogan based. Right. Things or something.
And I've already got this kind of Tom Lark thing.
So I just did it again.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you're kind of currently sort of, promoting the single "Rock and Roll Baby." It's got some really choice vintage tones on it. It reminds me of like the '60s psych bands, like Love and Small Faces. I'd like to hear more about. Like how that was recorded, a bunch of acoustic on the song, and there's that those sort of fuzz sort of stabs in the chorus. Do you remember what that pedal is? What you used?
Yeah, the in the chorus, it's kind of like it's a classic. It's a Tom Lark classic anyway.
The DS1.
The fuzz lines or whatever. That pedal is a pedal that my brother made for me.
Oh, sick.
It's got no like tone pot or volume or gain or anything. It's just like on and off.
Yeah.
He made it for me for Christmas, and it's got like. He was putting it together and he's like, it's got a bunch of different transistors in it, and you can tell me which ones you like better, the silicon, the germanium, or whatever the other one is or something. And then I was like, what? Anyway, then I listened to it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And whatever it was, like, it really like cuts out after.
It's kind of gated.
Yeah, it's really gated. It's just kind of thing. So, this, and then a side note to that is that there's this book called Mixing with Your Mind, which is a classic. I didn't. I had a copy of that. Stu lent me a copy, and then I'm sure I lent it to Tom, and then it's gone. I don't know where it is. It's a great book though. Yeah.
Did Tom lend it to you?
No.
No. Okay. So sorry, Stu. Shannon doesn't have it.
So in it, there's some bit where the guy's like, you can make. There's enough sonic information to make guitar sound like brass or something.
Wow.
And to me, that always seems stupid. Like, oh, I should try that. And so I always roll down the tone knob and then play just like what I think are like saxophone lines or something.
Mummy tone.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And so I just do that for the choruses usually. And then it brings this cool like
it is kind of
T-Rex thing or something.
Yeah, great example.
Yeah.
What about in the solo in that song? It's more sort of overdriven. Do you want to show us what you kind of in that solo? There's kind of a pretty cool. And I know this is acoustic and not but like that. This is a great example of like what I think is a melodic.
Right.
You don't have to play the whole thing, but just like it's just kind of a. That bit.
Yeah, that is. With this note, I try and get as many, like,
the vibrato?
vibratos as possible.
Oh!
And then, and then I do the Keith Richards thing, the bend before you play the note.
Oh, so it comes down.
Yeah, that's the other.
Yeah. Sick track.
It takes a little practice, but
Yeah.
you'll get it.
The other one that do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
The other one is, and I can't really do this. My mate Craig showed me this years ago, and I can't really do it. I can't do it on acoustic anyway. So you kind of catch the other string. So you go up and down.
Whoa.
You take 2 notes up and bring the other one.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow, that's
But
cool.
yeah, I know what you mean with the other person who's really good at that is Nick Valencia Valencia from
Strokes.
the Strokies,
Yeah,
the Strokey
yeah.
Strokes. Yeah.
Not that you asked, but I've been doing this move as well
Tell me
lately.
what you want me to ask, and I'll ask it. No.
Do you say? Do you have any other moves that?
Oh yeah. Hey, Shan, man, do you have any other moves that
Me?
you might want? Yeah, you. Do you want to? You got another move?
I've been doing
man?
this one like you play one note and then you bend the other one.
Oh, that's it's like a slidey kind of move. I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a lap steel or something.
Lap steel move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
been doing
we're
that
in
one.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all sweet stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Terry. Terry the dog's joined us. Another thing that captures me about your songs, and you know, I know you as a person, so maybe this is just because I know you, but I always find there's a bit of a dry sort of sense of humour going on, you know, when listening to your songs. You know, like in Rock and Roll Baby, there's that, you know, throughout it, but mainly pronounced like during the outro, that kind of polychord like riff, and like, you know, we've heard those, like, you know, like they're a staple from like the late 90s and 2000s and stuff, but like you drop yours and you're playing acoustic guitar, and when I first heard the song, you know, I was like, fucking Shannon, eh? He's a goon, you know, he's having a laugh. But like, do you think that you do things when you write to give yourself a laugh? You know,
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I don't know.
Keep things interesting, you know, for yourself. Like what? Yeah, that bit.
Those chords, I guess I always just called them Weezer chords.
Yeah.
They sound like the toughest.
They are tough.
It's
But
super
like
grunge.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think so. It's if it makes. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't sort of do something because I'm like, everyone's going to crack up at this.
Yeah, right.
But
I'm not writing the Muppets soundtrack.
I'm always just finding something amusing, I think, and then just trying to find... If I can surprise myself playing guitar or something, I think there's like something in that maybe that I think is worth pursuing,
Yeah. Oh, man. What do you do? You've got your tour coming up. Shannon's touring around Aotearoa in April.
That's right. Auckland the 10th,
Yep.
Wellington the 11th,
Yep.
and Christchurch the 12th.
Oh man, it's 3 in a row, bro. It's hard to get 3 dates in a row in New Zealand. That's pretty cool, you know.
Well, we did it.
You did.
Yeah.
And what do you do on the road? You know, you take another couple of people.
Got the band.
Yep. What's your live setup? How do you know, there's you know, often a few things going on in your songs. Do you run tracks? What do you play first and foremost, like guitar wise?
I play a acoustic guitar, and I got keys going on, and there's drums.
Yeah.
A
tidy 3-piece.
It's a tidy 3-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. For bass, we started using bass synth
Yeah.
for stuff, which is really fun. Which is sort of new, newer for me. But yeah, it's really nice. I'm really enjoying the sonic palette that we've got going on.
Is it just sort of like one sound that you sit on, or does your bro sort of like change a couple of settings, different songs, or?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like in motion throughout the show or whatever. But I guess the role of the bass is sort of just to hold down the bottom end.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
60 hertz, please. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But you play acoustic. You playing your solos on your acoustic guitar? What do you
sure do.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Standing on a stomp box to get loud and proud.
Well, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this top secret information, but I use a bass big muff on the thing, which is a trick I got from my friend Amelia at Phaser Days.
Oh, nice. Is that what she's dropping?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah. But, anyway, like the cool thing about the bass big muff is that it's got the switch, which is like dry, so you can blend in the fuzz tone, or just just 100% fuzz.
Does the guitar muff not do that?
No, it's just like full feedback if you kind of put it on or whatever. But having the transparency of the clean through lets you kind of blend it in a bit, like having like a fuzz send or something on the desk or something, which is really cool. You keep the presence of the subtleties or something of the guitar, but then you can also like tough it up. So,
Muff it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and are you going to be rolling out another couple of singles before, or a single before?
Yeah, I am.
We'll really look forward to that one, my bro.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming down, my bro. Shannon Fowler, a.k.a. Tom Lark. Do go out to a show if you are in Wellington, Auckland, or Otatahi, Christchurch. Early April, Tom Lark on the road. Be sure to give him a follow on Instagram and Facebook. Is there any other social network that you... Instagram or Facebook.
.co.nz.
You've got a website. He's got a website. Yeah. Get off those Zuckerberg things and get onto his website. And thanks for coming down. See you around the traps, my friend.
Yeah.
And thanks for being part of Studio One's sit-downs. Au revoir, bonsoir.